Hi, and welcome back to another Amazon selling video. I'm Nikki Kirk, and in 2023, this is going to be my 8th Q4 selling on Amazon doing retail arbitrage. So all month long, the whole month of August, I've been doing a Q4 prep series, and this is the last video in this series. I'm going to be going over sourcing strategies for Q4 and the Q4 timeline. Very quickly, if you're not familiar with what Q4 is, it is the fourth quarter of the fiscal calendar for retailers, which makes up October, November, and December, the holiday shopping time, and it is the time of year when most businesses make their profit or make the most of their profit, and that is very true for Amazon retail arbitrage sellers and just Amazon sellers in general. But you can make a whole lot of profit in just a short amount of time, so it is the most magical time of the year. You've probably heard me say this before, but last year I did $44,000 of profit during 3 months, which is absolutely amazing. I mean, what would you like to do with $44,000, right? Today is the day the Q4 group is open to join. So what is the Q4 Bolo group? So if you know me, you probably know my original Bolo group. I call it the OG Bolo group. It's my first child, my little baby of a group, the first thing I ever made. And it is the group where we're sharing leads of what we're sourcing right now in store, what we're finding profitable items that fit the criteria. So 150,000 in rank or lower. So that means better, right? Lower rank is better. So $5 minimum profit, 50% ROI on that profit, and a bunch of other things that make a lead a really strong lead. Every month, every member is sharing a lead. So that creates this list of bolos that you can be on the lookout for. You branch off of those leads. You say someone shared something at a store you've never been to, or from a brand you've never heard of, or a category you've never sourced. Now you go source those categories, those brands, those retail stores. That's how you use a branch lead, and that's where you're going to find a lot of profit. But not only that, you get this awesome community of sellers who are there to answer all your questions, to have your back when you need to frustrate, like you're frustrated at Amazon, you just need to vent. Everything is happening there in that Bolo group. So this Q4 Bolo group is like that, only it's only limited to 200 sellers. We have live hangouts in there, so we get on Zoom a couple of times a month throughout the whole end of the year, the whole time that this is working, like the Q4 group is rolling. We'll be having Zoom hangouts so you can ask questions, you can learn. I'll be teaching various things about where we're at in Q4, like things that are coming up, things to know. That'll be happening there. And again, those leads all quarter long. So you're going to know what everyone's chasing after. You're going to know what that hot item is that we got to go get more of. And the best thing about Q4 is, again, that profit. So you can make a lot of money on those chases, but you don't know what you don't know. So you definitely want to get in with the community. And the Q4 Bolo group is now open for 2023. Here's the deal though, it's gonna close on September 18th. So when it closes, it's closed. There's no more ability to join for the rest of the year for that Q4 Bolo group. So you definitely want to be there and joining it. We have 2 holiday parties. We're gonna do the Halloween party and again the Christmas or like holiday end of the year party towards the end of Q4. It's a really great time. It's a really awesome group of sellers. So we want you in there. We want to hang out, and I want to go sourcing with you this Q4, and let's make that money. If you happen to watch in this video after the Q4 doors have closed, again, that original Bolo group, my OG Bolo group is there. I'm in there all day, every day. Like, you can ask questions, tag me, tag any of the admins, ask whatever questions you have. That Bolo group is also available to join if you missed the close off for the Q4 group. Okay, so let's jump into those Q4 sourcing strategies and your timeline. So the main thing to understand about Q4 is that everything sells. Not just toys, not just holiday items, everything. We're talking shampoos, conditioners, tools, salon stuff, like everything is selling during Q4. So if you happen to have a couple bad buys, hopefully those will sell out pretty fast during Q4. Now to illustrate this, I'm going to run you down, I'm going to tell you the categories or the type of items that were my most profitable last Q4 to show you that it's everything. This software that you're seeing is called Sellerboard. You can get 2 months free. Here's the link to sign up if you want to try it out. No credit card required. You can plug in your Amazon business and see your numbers. So here we've got my most profitable, a toy. Again, that's my bundle. I'm sure you're familiar with it at this point. Then we've got a like a home household type item. It's a laundry item, a beauty item, a Christmas kitchen item, a toy, a beauty item, another toy, that laundry item again. I had multiple bundles of it. We've got another toy, beauty, Christmas item, home Christmas item, another personal care item, beauty, toy, beauty, toy, beauty, personal care, and the list goes on. You know why? I love beauty items, I love toys, so that's what I source the most, so that stuff is selling the most. So don't just think toys. Now here's the other thing that happens with toys. This happens every year, it's inevitable. Sellers are going to ask, when do I stop sending in toys? Never stop selling toys. Toys sell year-round. Keep sending in whatever toys you're finding. If you scan them, they make a profit right now, they're selling right now, send them in right now. Just keep sending all throughout the year all your toys. Whatever it is you're sourcing right now, keep sourcing it. Keep sending it in. The only thing that really changes when Q4 comes around is that I'm now sourcing those holiday-specific time of year things as well. I'm just adding that to what I'm already sourcing. The cool thing about the Bolo group is that you're going to have lists of leads to go off of. So really, Q4 sourcing is kind of the easiest sourcing of the year. You're doing it a lot. Like I'm sourcing like 2 and 3 times a week, sending shipments out every week because you got to get everything in. That's the time of year it is. But what's awesome is you have the list of bolos to look for, you have the list of what you're already selling and replenning, and it really is just a run into the store, grab what you're looking for, and run back out. Like it can be that easy for you to make that money during Q4, and that's one thing that I really like about it is, sure, I'm scanning new things that I see that are out there as the holidays switch over like that, but for the most part, it's run in, grab that item, hit the next Walmart, run in, grab the item, hit the next Ollie's. So that's my first sourcing strategy. Whatever you're sourcing now, keep sourcing it and add those holiday items into your sourcing mix. Now they might take a while. So Halloween, I'm scanning everything at Walmart and that takes quite a while, but it's worth it. Thanksgiving is a nice little home decor holiday, so you don't want to skip over that. Like you can, but there's things that definitely make money as we're going into Q4, so you definitely want to be scanning everything that you see out there. It might not come up. I typically scan the front of it more than scanning the barcode because those seasonal items, they're going to be new every year, and some of them are new to different stores. So it might be harder to find, or when you first see it, it might not be there, but then I go and scan it again the next time I'm at that Walmart, and you never know when it's going to show up, when someone might make a listing. You could make a listing if you want to for it. Like, you can do whatever you want to do, but it's just know that sometimes it's harder for them to come up because they are brand new or store specific and like they're just not coming up. But sometimes they are there. Definitely go to your Amazon.com like you're a customer shopping and search for the item there. You can usually find things there that you didn't find in the seller app. Super frustrating, but you want to make sure you're doing that. Now, like tchotchke things like Santa villages, those kind of things, sometimes those just don't come up. And so if you tend to notice like you're scanning all the same type of thing and none of it is up, maybe that whole category just isn't worth scanning, so focus on another area. So maybe you're scanning Halloween makeup and you're not finding it, so maybe focus on Halloween costumes or Halloween wigs or whatever. But you can kind of glean those little bits of it. Like if you keep scanning it and it's not coming up, maybe it's not worth your time and focus somewhere else. Now, the thing with Halloween is multiple season is going to run up right into it. So October 15th, I think, is the date we can send stuff in again. It's either October 15th or 16th. You can send multiples in FBA. However, it's still pretty hot around the country, unfortunately for me, because where I'm at, it's hot. So you might need to still send a ice pack with your candy if you're sending straight chocolate meltables. But if you're sending those like mix or like gummy bears or jelly beans or whatever, like all that, candy corn, that's what I'm thinking of. That kind of stuff is probably not going to melt, so you're probably fine to do it, but it's considered meltable, so you can't send it in FBA, so you're going to have to FBM it. So meltable season runs right up into Halloween, but it can make a lot of good profit. You are going to want to FBM during Q4. Believe me, you're going to want to. As much as you don't want to, as much as you're scared of it, you're going to want to because there's so much profit to be made during FBM because of those time frames. So because FBA is not going to make it there in time, so if you send something FBA December 5th, the odds of it being available, checked into the warehouse, ready to sell, ready to send to the customer by December 25th is very slim. That is a risk that I would not want to take with my holiday-specific items. So we're talking things that are Christmas-specific. Not toys. Send those toys. But if you have those extra weeks of being able to sell at FBM, you can make the most money. So what happens with Q4 is it's a slow roll up to the most profit, and your most profit is going to come that week of Thanksgiving through the first 2 weeks of December. That is when everybody is buying stuff online. It's crazy. It happens every year. You'll kind of be like, Nikki, it's not really taking off for me. And then all of a sudden it'll shoot up and everything will be selling. So if you're not doing FBM and you're sending in stuff FBA, it's going to be harder to really chase something down. Sure, you can go grab it all and buy it and send it in FBA, but if you're not going to FBM it, it's going to take a while to sell. The people who are FBMing who can get it to the customer faster are going to win that sell, and you might end up with a lot of product at the warehouse and everyone starts freaking out. It happens every year. I don't know why, but everyone will start freaking out and lowering their prices as Christmas gets closer. And now you've got a price sinking situation happening with all your stock sitting there not selling, and you're losing out on a lot of profit that you thought you were going to have. So those chases are really FBM chases, and that is when you're going to make the most money. You're going to be able to sell a lot of stuff. You'll be packing up orders all through the night, but it's awesome. And trust me, you can, again, take that vacation at the end of the year after Christmas is over and you've got all your profit. The other thing with FBM versus FBA is when you're scanning stuff for Halloween again, let's say, and it doesn't yet have a rank the first time you scan it, but then you scan it 2 weeks later and now it does have a rank, but Halloween's in 2 weeks. You're not going to be able to send it FBA, right? It's going to get there too late, but you can FBM it if you know how to FBM and you're comfortable with FBM, and you can make that profit right now. Another holiday time period cutoff where FBM can make a lot of money. So now we are retailers, we sell on Amazon, we're retailers. The great thing about being a retailer, and sometimes frustrating thing about being an Amazon retail arbitrage retailer, is that we work way in advance, right? That's why we're prepping for Q4 in August. So we work in advance. So because we're working in advance, all that Halloween stuff that seems like it's always arriving to the store way too soon, well, it's perfect for us because we need to get those items into Amazon sooner rather than later. What that looks like during November is that, like I said, all those customers are shopping really after from Black Friday all through the first 2 weeks of December. Because of that, stores are having better deals in earlier November to get customers buying then. However, customers don't really shop for Christmas shopping during that time for whatever reason. So we can often find better deals on our products and make more profit shopping those sales earlier in November rather than later. Now, I found this stat online. It's pretty cool. So Klarna is a payment processor. It's one of those things where you can break your payment of your item up into like bi-weekly payments or whatever. So they did an online survey, and 79% of Christmas shoppers did their shopping the last 2 weeks before Christmas. Everyone's shopping last minute. That's when everyone's shopping online, obviously. So of those 79%, 55% are doing their they're doing their shopping online. So that's why you really want to have as much stock as you possibly can in those 2 weeks before Christmas, because that's when all the shoppers are getting there, and that's where that's when all your stuff is selling out. Because of that flux, warehouses start to get backed up. So if you didn't notice it before, you'll definitely notice. Be aware of what warehouses you're sending it to and what their time frame is, because that's going to play a factor into when you personally decide to stop FBAing certain things. For me, as a general, I like to say October 1st for Halloween, December 1st for Christmas, just to have enough time. But if your warehouse is super slow, you might have to stop sending stuff a week before that even. Again, I'm talking holiday specific, so Halloween specific, Thanksgiving specific, Christmas specific. Everything else, those toothpaste, those beauty items, that stuff you can keep sending in because it's going to sell year-round. Toys sell year-round. The other thing to know about holiday items, okay, so price sinking is not totally a thing. It's still a thing, but it's not as bad during Q4 except for those holiday specific items. Unfortunately, if everyone can find it at Walmart, then everyone is not always not a price tanker, and so the price tanking starts to happen. So with holiday items, you want to be in early. That means as soon as you see it, start scanning it. Or you're going to have to be out late, meaning the price might start coming down and you have to hold it for a little bit longer, and right before Christmas that thing's going to sell versus what you wanted to sell it for earlier. So in early or out late is generally the rule of thumb for holiday specific items. There are outliers to everything, so obviously do your Keepa searches, do your Amazon searches, like make sure the ranks look good and everything, but that's generally the rule of thumb. And you want to plan ahead as much as possible, so that means having stock in your warehouse, at your warehouse, ahead of time. So that means maybe you're filling up as much as you can in November. If you're not going to FBM, you're pretty much, I mean, you send in your regular stuff, but you're kind of done through December. Like you could take a break if you want to, you can take the time off, enjoy the holiday. But if you're gonna, and that's only if you're FBAing, but if you're FBMing, you might be working, 2 or 3 weeks into December before you can no longer get it to the customer in time. Customers will pay for shipping. They'll pay for expensive shipping. It's really kind of crazy. It's like people's minds go crazy. I'm sure if you've seen, been scanning in a toy aisle and there's a mom and a child or grandma and child or whatever, they usually are telling the child to wait for Christmas. Oh, write it down, make your list, Christmas is coming. So that is very much a thing, and that's why everyone is in the mood to buy stuff, anything and everything during that holiday time frame. Now, the sales that come around when everyone else is shopping, so we're talking Black Friday sales, those kind of sales, those tend to tank in price really hard. So I'm going to do a whole other video coming up on Black Friday sourcing specifically, but just know like those sales are something you kind of want to watch out for. But those sales that happen in the beginning of November, before the customers are really looking at it, those sales typically have really great deals. Now, I break down all of this very detailed in my Retail Arbitrage Guide to Q4. It's available on my website, so you can know when to shop certain deals, when those holiday cutoff timelines are, what I look for. It's really like a little beginner course in a little pamphlet. So if you are kind of new to Retail Arbitrage, this is your first Q4, definitely check it out and get that Retail Arbitrage Guide to Q4. It's updated for 2023, and we are ready to rock and roll. As always, the Bolo group is now open. Can't wait to see you there and hang out and make a lot of money this Q4. Just a reminder as we get to the end of the year that all of the business expenses, so your Q4 Bolo group, the Q4 guide, your ungating order, whatever it is, software, inventory lab, seller board, whatever you need to get for your business is a tax deduction write-off. So if it's going to help your business, it's going to help you make more profit or know your numbers, it's definitely worth the investment because it's going to come off of your taxable profit at the end of the year for what you would owe the IRS. So definitely think about getting those tools and softwares that are going to help your Q4 be the best yet. And I will see you today in the Q4 group. I can't wait to hang out and get to know you more there. I'll be back next week with another Amazon selling video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye.